Hi, I'm Zoe.
And I'm Simon, and welcome back to another episode from our journey through beautiful Sri Lanka.
In this video, we leave Colombo and travel north to Anuradhapura, where we visit Wilpattu National Park to go on a safari. We then continue to Sigiriya to climb two famous rocks for some of the best views in Sri Lanka.
Time to leave Colombo and we're heading up north.
We only got third-class train tickets, so we're very excited what this is going to be like.
I think the third class is pretty good if you've got a reserved seat, which we have got luckily. There's no air conditioning, but I think the windows are open, the doors are open. It's going to be a cool breeze.
I think it's going to be an interesting experience either way.
Yeah, I think so too.
And hopefully it's going to be fun too.
Well, we've been standing here for 40 minutes. We hope that the train will actually leave soon. We did see some handymen walking past the train here. The train has been with some tools, and the train has been turning on and off again, or the electricity at least has.
Moving like half a meter and back.
Yeah.
Up and back.
I think once we're moving it's going to be fine, but it's a matter of if we're going to move today.
Yeah. But on the positive side, we found some good seats. We did not take the seats that we actually reserved because there were people sitting there, and these seats here in the unreserved part actually looked quite good because we can sit here just the two of us and it's not that full, so let's hope it will continue that way. We're moving! We've just looked up how much a driver would cost to Anuradhapura, but we were very happy that we don't need one. We've made it. That was not a 4-hour ride, it was 5 hours 20. It was quite a nice ride. It was not too crowded and we had some really nice views of the countryside, so I think it was a successful ride. Okay, so now let's see if we can get a tuk-tuk to our next accommodation.
And here we are. We're now in Anuradhapura. It's the evening already, and we're gonna grab a bite to eat and then go sleep. Tomorrow we will go on a safari to Wilpattu National Park. It's a full-day safari that's gonna take about 12 hours, sitting in a jeep, hopefully looking at animals. We'll see. And yeah, it's gonna be a long but very exciting day. So see you then. Well, good morning from Wilpattu National Park. We woke up very early this morning to take a car that took about 45 minutes here to the park. Then we transferred to this vehicle and had a very windy ride. And here in this park, the vehicle is only allowed to drive 25 kilometers per hour, so this is a little bit more chill. We now drove deep into the national park and we stopped for breakfast. We saw a few animals so far, no leopards yet, no elephants as well.
But the day is still young and we still got a long tour ahead of us. So let's stay optimistic. Yeah. We are gonna see some bigger mammals.
Our driver gave us a good tip actually to stay in the car to have breakfast, because we can see other people that got out to have breakfast and they are now getting attacked by monkeys. So that's good that we didn't have to face that, because the monkeys probably would have won. and we wouldn't have any breakfast then. It's nice when we just stop for a while, turn off the motor, listen to the sounds. It's quite idyllic. Everywhere you stop there will always be something to see, from small deer to these giant lizards, or even a bunny. We saw a bunny. That was nice. And yeah, it's just very relaxing. And we're off again. It's lunchtime and now they also have our car in control.
Okay, so now we had a quick lunch here at the picnic spot again, and so far no leopards, but we're staying optimistic and we are continuing our drive through the jungle. I mean, this national park is very beautiful, so it doesn't really matter if we don't see any leopards. It would be cool, yes, but it wouldn't be a complete failure if we didn't see one, so let's keep that in mind.
And we're on our way back without having seen any leopards, but that's okay. We still had a beautiful day here in Wilpattu National Park. If you come here, maybe don't expect to see leopards. It is very likely, but there is also a chance that you won't see any. And that's okay, because there are loads of other animals that you can see here. There's some very nice nature as well, and you can just consider it a very scenic drive through a very nice park.
And tomorrow we will already continue to our next destination here in Sri Lanka. And we are now in Sigiriya. The most popular thing to do here is visit Sigiriya Rock, where the Lion Fortress is on. But there's also another rock which gives you a beautiful view of Sigiriya Rock. So the first thing we're going to do today is climb onto Pidurangala Rock to see the Lion Rock from afar, and hopefully also a beautiful sunset. But to do that, we first need some energy. So we stopped at Pradeep restaurant because we heard they had some really good roti, and we got one vegetable and cheese roti and one banana and chocolate roti.
I think that will give us plenty of energy.
Yeah, I also think so. Also, they're really big, like this is half. And I'm actually gonna spice things up a little bit and eat dessert first.
Damn, naughty.
The roti has a little bit of a crunch. And then, I mean, you can't go wrong with the chocolate and banana filling, so. So after about half an hour of hiking, we've made it to the top and we have a wonderful view of Sigiriya Rock.
Pretty full, yeah. Well, the sun has gone down, and that's when everyone gets up, of course, and tries to go down again, and it gets really busy then. So there's basically a traffic jam of hundreds of people trying to get down now.
But that's also because the way down, or like the last, I don't know, 100 meters up and down, of course, are kind of steep, so you have to climb a little bit, to boulder a little bit. So yeah, some people are just taking a while and then the traffic jam starts.
It starts very easily. So that's why we're now taking the time to stroll around the rest of this rock, because it's quite big actually, and of course most people just sit down and look at the other big rock here and at the sunset, of course. But I mean, there's a lot of other cool views to have here. It's gonna get dark real quick though, and then we're screwed.
thought a simple rock could be that impressive. I mean, it's not a simple rock, it's actually a fortress, but still, before we came here, I thought, why is everybody obsessing about this rock? I mean, how impressive can a rock be? But it is quite impressive. It's a beautiful morning, the sun has just risen and we're making our way to Sigiriya Rock on our bicycles that we rented yesterday, and I hope it's gonna be fun. I hope it's not gonna be too cloudy because it has rained this morning, and yeah, I'm very excited.
Getting around by bicycle, I think, is the way to go here in Sigiriya. It's just super easy and the attractions are quite close to each other, so it takes maybe 20 minutes to get from one part of town to the other.
But be careful if you leave the rocks, like one of the rocks, too late, because it's going to be very dark in this whole area around the rocks. And they told us there are wild elephants, so we have to be careful, and it was a little bit scary.
Yeah, we were riding through the dark with our headlamps and just looking out for elephants everywhere, and we didn't see any, thankfully, because I don't know if they are too friendly when you encounter them on their evening stroll. Sigiriya Rock is supposed to be much easier to climb than Pidurangala Rock, although it's going to take longer, but I think it's mostly taking the stairs basically. Yesterday wasn't too exhausting, it was just a little bit busy and slightly humid, but today the weather is nice, and as we're quite early, I think we're gonna beat the sun. We started the climb, the big climbing of the stairs. It's not too full. I think it's very good to go early in the morning. We're not there right when the ticket counter opens at 7 AM, but it's still quite early because Sigiriya Rock is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's not cheap. Entrance is $30 per person, but there are free toilets at the entrance. So
of course,
it's
we made
a bargain.
use of that. We're almost there. It was a bit more exhausting than I thought, but we made it.
Just a bit sweaty, but yeah, this is the rock that we were on yesterday. To look at this one we're climbing right now, and this one looks much more impressive, of course, so it is a good idea to do both. Well, we made it up. It's nice, the view is very good. It's maybe not as impressive as from Pidurangala, but that was to be expected. And it's a cool breeze right now, not too much sun, so this was the perfect time to do it.
I think the Pidurangala rock is the one to climb for nice views and sunrise and sunset, and this one I think is more to be valued for its history and everything that has happened around it.
Yeah, I mean the old ruins here are super impressive, and it's cool to imagine that this was once a very impressive fortress. Sorry, but can you see the sweat, or is it not visible?
Sigiriya was built by the 5th century king Kashyapa, who, despite being the eldest son of the king of Anuradhapura, was not supposed to become the heir to the throne because his mother was not the queen but just a mistress of non-royal blood.
Being overlooked was something he did not accept, so he staged a whole coup and overthrew his father, seizing the throne and even causing his father's execution in the end. He managed to claim the throne for himself, but he did not manage to make peace with his people. So he built this fortress on Sigiriya Rock and moved the royal capital from its seat in Anuradhapura to Sigiriya.
But anyway, it's starting to rain, and I think we might climb down now. If you ever come here to the Lion's Fortress, be sure not to miss the cave paintings on the way down, because they're really cool. They depict different women, and I think there are various interpretations about who these women were. There's one interpretation that says they were the harem of the king that ruled here in this fortress, and there are no pictures allowed, so we couldn't film anything, but it was very interesting to see how women in that time may have looked like.
We now also checked out the Museum of Sigiriya Rock, which is pretty interesting. It's good to get a basic understanding of the history, and you can also see some slightly outdated animations of what everything looked like on the rock and in the surrounding area a few hundred years ago. The museum is kind of old, so it's not the best exhibit by far, but it still is, I think, a good introduction. It's getting super full now, so definitely come, I think, about before 8 o'clock in the morning. You should start going up, because that was very comfortable. And now a lot of tour groups here. I mean, it is a very popular spot, and it's also getting much warmer, as you can maybe see from this.